Hello, this is J.A. McDonald, and today I'm bringing you a tutorial for my super long pulse extender. Now, in front of me here I have two standard pulse extenders. Now this one on the right here will extend it less than this one over here. This was the original design of a pulse extender before they added comparators. Basically you just hit the button and the light stays on longer than the button is pressed for. Now, the problem with this design is to get anything more than that long, you have to add more repeaters. So you start getting these huge chains of things that look a bit like that for very small increases in the actual amount of time you increase the light by. And then it starts getting crazy in the length of these loops that you start making. So when the comparators came out, people were amazed to find the the fade extender, which will greatly extend the clock. As you can see, I pushed the button on the left last, and it turned off first. So to extend one of these, you add more comparators once again, or you stick a block in it like that, and that will increase its delay length. But once again, to get any sort of delay over like 10 seconds or so, these things start getting huge. So no problem, we have this thing, except for one problem. This is not a pulse extender. This is a long pulse generator. What's the difference? On this circuit, if I push the button and midway through I push the button again, it restarts the time from the last button push. This circuit will only keep the light on for a specific amount of time when it's given a pulse. That is the time length that will keep the light on. If I give it a pulse and then wait until it's halfway through its time and give it another pulse, nothing will change about the light's behavior. It still goes off at the same time. That is what prevents this from being a pulse extender. Now, I built another design over there. It runs on this interesting thing. You would think putting a block here and here, based on this design over here, would just make a really long pulse extender. But instead, it actually makes a pulse sustainer, a analog memory cell, which will remember exactly what power was put into it and hold it forever. So I took one of these and I flipped one of the comparators to subtraction mode, ran it into a clock, and then into a monostable circuit into a 1-strength pulse generator. So that means that every time this clock goes off, the current here will be decreased by 1. Since there's a net total of 15 currents, this cell here acts as a 15 multiplier for whatever this clock is, and it will multiply the signal it receives, or it will increase the signal it receives by this clock time times 15, which makes it an amazingly long timer. Now you'll see this thing is flickering between 1 and 0. It flickers 1 because it's set to subtraction here and is receiving a current of 14 from this side and 15 from this side. And 14 minus 15 is 1. Actually, it's the other way around. Anyhow, that's how long the light takes. You can change how long it takes here by adjusting this clock. Currently, I have it set to a comparator fade clock, similar to that circuit over there, but auto-reloading with this inverter. So if I do this again, you'll see that the clock, or this piece of redstone, decreases by 1 every time that clock cycles. Suppose I get another input. We're back at full strength. The light's still on. full strength, light's still on. So this one really does start the timer at the last pulse, which is useful because now it's a really long pulse extender. This thing can start at 15 seconds of delay if you hook it up to a 1 second clock. If you hook it up to a faster clock, it can go slower. But it can never go below, I don't know, 15 frames of delay, I would say. Or extension, not delay. 0 delay. See? Anyhow, time to build this thing. Over here, it's color-coded for ease of view, but I'll just build it all out of iron. First, put 2 blocks like that, and a comparator facing into each one, then a block of redstone leading into the back of the first comparator. Set one of them into subtraction mode, and put a single piece of redstone out the side with another comparator also in subtraction mode. Run 2 pieces of redstone out of the side of that one, and then place a torch at the end of that string. When you're done with that, put a repeater here set to 2 ticks, and a sticky piston here. On the back of the sticky piston, put a block, and then angle a repeater into the side of it. This can be redstone as well, but I just find a repeater to be more reliable. When you're done with that, just put a redstone torch here, and build whatever toggleable clock you like here. So this can be a 1 second clock if you want. Just a little, let's see, like that. And hook it into the back. Or you can build a really long clock in that section. Or a really short clock. Your choice. And this will just multiply whatever that clock frequency is by 15 and make a single pulse that long. So for the one I built over there, just put a little comparator fade timer. It doesn't really matter which way you build this one because of reasons. It matters in it really does matter, but it really doesn't matter because of how it's built. Basically, if you power it here, there's a 1 delay before it starts going around. But that's okay in this instance because we're powering it here only the first time. All other times, we're powering it from here. But, it'll just slightly change your speed. So if you find it slightly too long or slightly too short, that's probably your suspect. Now, if you want this thing to go even longer, just stick a block right there with some redstone on top of it like that. So that's my clock, or my pulse extender. Now for why you would want this other than really long pulses. Because I didn't want a 30-second long pulse, and I doubt anyone else does. The reason why you want this is it makes sustained clocks. Let me show you what I mean. So here I have the 1 second clock I built earlier. This thing will sustain itself for 15 flashes now. As you see. Why would I ever want to sustain a clock for that type of period? Well, suppose you have a hopper chain. that happens to be leading into a dropper elevator that is 15 droppers tall. And is that 15 droppers tall? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Is 15 droppers tall. And you want a lossless system that will get all the items in this chain to the very top without a bunch of mindless clicking. Just let me going in, or the bottom comparator here, or bottom dropper here. Bottom dropper's best, but this system isn't set up for that right now, so I'll just do it like this. As you see, if we put a single piece of redstone in here, it doesn't power this clock enough. So what you need to do is, I'd forgotten this, just step it back one. Repeater there, comparator there. So now throw an item in, and it should make it all the way to the top. There's the first piece of redstone we stuck in, and the second. And just a few extra ticks. So now, if we throw in our redstone, which we really don't care about, it makes it halfway up, and we throw in our diamond, which we really do care about. Had we been using a system similar to this one here, the diamond would be stuck halfway up. But now, it's made it all the way to the top. That is a really nice use of this system. But now that you know about the system, I'm sure that you have other uses for it yourself. This has been J.A. McDonald. Thanks for watching.